I thought, as I said to you before we went on air, about yeah, it's gonna be easy. There can't be that many. And then I started going through my list of games I played. I thought, holy shit, there's a lot of this is not the movie industry. Games
Yeah,
make better sequels. So
they
it's
do.
like, oh
Yeah,
damn.
as they should. They should be technically better. They should just learn from all their mistakes from the first one.
Mm.
Yeah, this is a interesting one. Interesting one.
So I'll go
Okay, so
first,
this is
dude.
sequels. So these have to be only games which are a direct sequel to the original. So they must have the word two in the
And
title,
it yeah, and
or
it
can no
can't be a
longer be
remake
a remake.
unless the original was remade as well. So you can't say
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 remake because there hasn't been a Resident Evil 1 remake. So
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So I'll go first,
Let's
dude,
do
because
this.
for
Yep.
me,
Go for it.
this game is probably the biggest jump in quality from the first to the second, I think. And there's a
Yep.
lot of games that have had amazing jumps, but the original, this one for me, there's a bigger gap, and that is Uncharted 2 on the PS3.
Right.
So Uncharted Drake's
Nice.
Fortune came out, Naughty Dog went to it. Obviously, it was showcasing what the PS3 can do. It had like dual shock features where you're waving it around like a bellend to balance on beams and stuff, but it was a really, really good game. A solid 8.5 out of 10. But when Uncharted 2 came out, holy, this is Terminator to Terminator 2 levels.
Yeah.
Game of the year, and rightly so. Unbelievable. Really pushed what the PS3, really showed, sorry, what the PS3 could do. What really pushed it was The Last of Us. But Uncharted 2, still to this day, one of the absolute great, probably one of the greatest adventure games ever made. And yeah, definitely in the top three for, well, definitely in a Mount Rushmore of sequels, right? So for me, my first sequel on Mount Rushmore is Uncharted 2.
Nice. Nice. I like that. That's definitely. It's like I didn't actually play it fully, but I did watch my brother playing that game, and it did seem like that's also inspired. Was it like Mission Impossible, the latest Mission Impossible, or the one before
Oh yeah,
last?
dude,
When he's got
you
that
look at
train
some,
scene.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
how many
there's
other films took those ideas? You know what I
there's
mean? Like,
so many scenes in Uncharted that has been taken. Like you look at the Uncharted film, they took so many scenes from the second Uncharted game. You look at Mission Impossible, they took so many things from Uncharted. You look at the new Tomb Raider games, Uncharted 2 inspired the reboot of Tomb Raider, and the games just absolutely ripped scenes from
yeah,
Uncharted. And I think when the Tomb Raider TV show is made, you will see scenes from Uncharted 2 in there as well, like
echoed again.
copycat scenes,
Yeah,
you know. So
Naughty Dog.
yeah, definitely up there, man. Uncharted 2. And what did Uncharted 2? What did Uncharted 2 do? It just ripped scenes from Indiana Jones. That's how you do
Yeah, and
it.
just updated them. Yeah, exactly. With somebody who could actually be a bit more agile and know how to use a gun as opposed to a whip. But swinging into action, speaking about a whip,
Oh,
to the
nice.
top spot on my mountain can be no other than Miles Morales, but also the greatest iteration of Peter Parker that we've ever seen. And that has to be Spider-Man 2. I mean,
It's on my list.
what a
It's
game!
on
Oh
my
my God. That was so good. It was so good. The story
at
was
13,
good.
dude,
The
at
balance between the
13.
characters from the very first act versus Sandman. It just threw you into the action and it was like, let's go. And it didn't
Do you
let
know
up.
what I
And
loved
it was
about the
brilliant.
game? When I was thinking about Spider-Man 2 the other
Really
day
good.
because somebody was talking
Yeah.
about it, and you know what I really liked about it is each character felt different to play, even though they were swinging the same, like in terms of combat. Like Peter
Mm,
Parker to Miles, who had different abilities, to another
yeah.
character, I'm not going to spoil it, that you play in the game, to a variation of a character that you play in the game. They're all different. Like it felt
Yeah, yeah,
different, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
was like,
Really,
traversing feels the same
really
to a
good.
certain extent, but when it comes to the crux of it, which is the combat and how you go around, they felt different and it was different tactics and
They
stuff.
did.
And I was like, actually,
They
it's
did.
yeah, it's one of 13 games I had on my list, mate, that I got to pick four from
Yeah.
for Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. But also the storyline compared to the first one was done so well, so focused on the first one. The fact is that they actually have multiple characters now that they all have to give enough attention and detail, and they just didn't let up. So Insomniac are true masters storytelling. So yes, definitely.
Nice. Yeah, that was one of the games that was on my
Yep.
13 list. Next
Okay.
up, we're going from the Tibetan mountains. We're going a bit higher than a mountain. We're going into space, mate, and that is Mass Effect 2. Um,
Okay.
I didn't play the original because it was tied to, again, another game that was tied to Xbox 360 at the time. Capitalize on the momentum, right? But no, fuck it up.
Yeah,
Mass Effect came out, and then Mass Effect 2 came to all platforms, including PS3. So obviously, I only had played Mass Effect 2 then. I didn't get to play Mass Effect 1 until the collection came out on PS4. And yeah,
yeah.
like you can see the night and day difference between Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2, unbelievable. What a game. Everything you want. This is a jump that is akin to like, if you remember, sounds weird, but Sonic to Sonic 2 and Super Mario Brothers to Super Mario Brothers 2 in terms of how you take that formula and just add so much more layers and depth to the most basic things. Whether it be just a slight difference to the new move on those characters for Mass Effect, it was just a new layer in the dialogue system for it that has a knock-on effect to something else compared to the first game. And I was just like, oh man, Mass Effect 2 is so much better than Mass Effect 1. So Mass Effect 2 joins Uncharted 2. Everything's going to have a 2 on this Mount Rushmore. But yeah, Mass Effect 2 for me.
Mass Effect 2 is the second one. Okay, so from um I'm just trying to see how I can transition from that to a Mass Effect to a mass fatality. Um yeah, that was correct. But anyway, fatality being the key word in the next game that I'm actually introducing onto the Mount Rushmore. And yes,
You should have
this
gone
is
from you got to be careful in space because if you go outside, it's a fatality without a suit or some shit. You could have gone somewhere
yeah,
down
there's
that
so many
route,
different ways. For sure.
innit?
You know, we're using the magic of Hollywood. We can read it that. But anyway, Mortal Kombat 2, one
Good
of the
choice.
greatest sequels of all time. I mean, Mortal Kombat came on, it shut down all the critics of fighting games because everybody saw the first Mortal Kombat as being a weak competitor to the likes of Street Fighter 2, which could have also been on the list, but there was never really a Street Fighter 1 release. But anyway, but yes, Mortal Kombat 2 came out and it just had a more plethora of characters and they went to town on the fatalities and it just felt like a brand new experience. And that was back on the day on the SNES, and it was just it became like a worthy competitor now in terms of fighting games on the platforms, and obviously it's now spurred onto a franchise which has made multiple movies, one coming out next year. And yeah, it deserves its spot. You know, it's one of the first sequels I ever played. Definitely one of the first fighting sequels I ever played, and it was one where you actually saw a markedly improvement. So yes, there you go. Mortal Kombat 2.
Nice. This is tricky because my list, there's so many great games. I can only go based on the jump for this next one in terms of quality. And this
Mm.
one actually had a massive jump in quality on every front, especially in gameplay. So I'm going to go with Assassin's Creed 2. So we
Oh,
went from
nice.
Altair in the original
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed that only had like one of four mission types, one of which was just listening or pickpocketing and stuff like that, to
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 2, which obviously had the more flamboyant Ezio Auditore and
Mm-hmm.
set in Italy. Great game. I worked for Ubisoft at the time, and yeah, it was all about AC2, man. Great game, played great. Was a huge deal, got massive review scores as well. So for me, Assassin's Creed 2. Ezio, I'm giving you a shout out, my boy. You join the Mount Rushmore for sequels.
Speaking of, oh, there's a few, but anyway, stay in focus.
And on
All right,
Nintendo
so
ones.
yes, there are. I mean, I was going to dive back into a PlayStation Classic, which might actually go onto a little tiny Mount Rushmore a bit later, but definitely a sequel that I'm currently going through, which I mentioned at the top of the game, that being the sequel to one of the greatest Zelda games of all time, Breath of the Wild, a game which people thought could not be topped, which was then topped with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is just pretty much Breath of the Wild, but just on steroids in a brand new way, and it just hits different. It hits different.
Mm.
It's not the traditional sequel as you'd expect. It's yes, it's the same world, but obviously they've added more different layers to it. Not only are you playing on the middle plane, let's just say on land, you're also in the sky and you're also underground as well. And each one has a fully developed world and experience. Each one could be their own game. Not to mention completely different mechanic system as well, with the joining of different objects, which still to this day still mind boggles developers to see how they were able to achieve, you know, you could connect to maybe up to like, I don't know, like 50 pieces together, and it doesn't slow the system down. You know, they were definitely using some voodoo or wizardry behind the scenes. But yes, definitely Zelda Tears of
So
the Kingdom is a much more of
I
VC.
might get
And it
thrown
does have
off.
the word two in there, especially when you write it down like that. It doesn't have the number two, but it has TO.
I'll give you it. I'll give you it. I might be thrown off Mount Rushmore because I was writing in felt tip and I've put it on the fucking counter without the lid and I put pen all over it. So no, I wasn't playing with myself. If you're watching the video,
Fatality.
I was trying to rob the pen off the
Oh,
board.
you're just
Okay,
digging that hole, mate. You're just digging that hole.
so the last one had to be on here, but this isn't because of jump of quality. This is a game that was averaging a 92, 93% at the time when it came out.
Mhm,
How do you top that? Oh, I'll tell you how you top it. You release a game that's like a 96 or a 97, which is what this
mhm.
game did. It's a single player game. It's adult rated, it's 18. It
Yep, yep,
sold
yep.
70 to 80 million copies. It's set in the Wild Wild West. No Will Smith, it's not you. Don't get your hopes up. It's
Look at
Red
what?
Dead Redemption 2. This is quality built on quality. Basically, just what you said with Zelda to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Mhm,
Red Dead Redemption was already a 92, 93% game. Red Dead Redemption 2 went even higher. It's almost the most perfect single player game out there, open world sense.
mhm.
It just took every element of Red Dead Redemption and made it bigger, bolder, better. Triple B. Um, we talk about greatest games of all time. Red Dead Redemption 2 is in my top five. We talk about best open world games of all time. Red Dead Redemption is in the top five. We talk about story. Red Dead is in the top five. We talk about just feeling any sort of system you put in place to rank a top five that has an element of Red Dead 2 in it, it's going to be in my top five. So obviously, Red Dead Redemption 2 is my final game on my Mount Rushmore for sequels. What a fucking game.
RDR2. Nice, nice, nice.
But
All
dude,
right
this is
then.
crazy because all my other three games are jumps in quality. This was
Yeah.
quality to quality, because there's other games on my list that have got massive jumps in quality, but this was just absolute quality to absolute perfection. So it's just there, man.
Yeah, yeah. To the point
Dude,
where it's been
you
ages
know
since they released another sequel.
the only reason Red Dead Redemption 2 to me isn't the perfect game is that it was held back by loading. It was just held back by the hardware.
Ah,
That's it. So it was a bit annoying, like when it's pushing the console, so you have the console limitations in the game. Whether it would be loading or just a little bit of movement or something that's pissed me off, but it's not the game, it's the hardware. Because you see it running on like high-end PCs and that, and you don't see those same issues.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, for me, almost like literally the perfect game. And it's a sequel, so it's valid for this Mount Rushmore. What is your final game, mate?
Right then. I was just checking to see if Red Dead Redemption is actually going to have a
We keep
re-release.
thinking there's always
Um,
it's that time of year where yeah,
it's
it's coming
just
out of Christmas.
coming, coming.
It never comes.
Come on, Santa. All right, so for my final Mount Rushmore mountain, this game has done quite a feat in terms of how it's impacted the world for both gameplay and theatrics. It stars two of the greatest duos on screen, and obviously it was a perfect
Have I guessed it
follow-up.
right?
Yeah, it's a perfect follow-up to the first game that just blew my mind, and I'm so
It
glad that
was
they
on
were
my
able to
list.
come up with a sequel. Yeah, it has to be on this. It has to be because it was
Yeah.
one game which, even though it didn't really tick all the boxes or satisfy the entire audience, but that's great. It has to be polarizing. That's the beauty about the game. The fact is that you actually played not even the main character from the first game. You played the side character from the third game, and then that was then complemented with a new character who had their own dynamics and own perspective, both of which you explore whilst you're playing this game. And it's none other than Last of Us 2, done by Insomniac. No, not Insomniac, sorry, Naughty Dog. Another game, though, from a great
Blasphemy.
Sony. from it's still a Sony studio, but yes, none other than Naughty Dog. Masters again, they massively told the story of these two competing sides of the narrative, and they beautifully intertwined it in the game that was Last of Us 2 in a way that only they could. And again, just showing, as we were talking about earlier, in terms of developing IPs and franchises, when you've got skilled artists at work, it's really hard to fail, and you could develop more emotional connections rather than it just being sales of a game, because that would then translate. If you've got a good story, if you've got a good gameplay, you will make those sales. And
Mm.
unfortunately, there are some leaders in the industry who don't really acknowledge that
Well,
fact.
dude, I'm just having a look at the Mount Rushmore. Three are Sony first party, uh, which tell and the fact that they're all sequels tells you like the love and care given to the IP after the success of a first one, not just rushed
Yeah,
out. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and like yeah, so that's it. So Last of Us is definitely up there. There's loads. There's so
All
many
right, dude.
games that
Okay,
could have
dude. So we're
said.
gonna do this different. All right. So if you can just recap both of our Mount Rushmores, and then we won't
Yeah,
do any side
sure.
statues. We'll just
No,
quickly list what we thought
yeah,
was what was in our contentions.
yeah, okay, yeah. So Sonny said Uncharted 2 was his first Mount Rushmore, followed by Mass Effect 2, then followed by Assassin's Creed 2, and then finally with Red Dead Redemption 2. And I had Spider-Man 2, followed by Mortal Kombat 2, followed by Zelda 2 OTK, Tears of the Kingdom, and then finally with Last of Us 2, released
Yeah.
on the PS5. So
Nice.
that is the Mount Rushmore for this week.
All right, dude.
Um,
So I had a big list, so I'll just go through them really
yeah,
quick.
go for
So I had The Godfather 2. It
it.
built
Yeah.
on the original game, added loads of systems to add more to it. So I thought that was a
Yeah,
better sequel than the original.
yeah,
Recency bias, mate, maybe. Death Stranding 2 was on my list as well.
nice.
It is better
Yeah,
than the original game, but my Mount Rushmore games obviously did more.
yeah,
Death Stranding was similar to Red Dead, where it was quality on quality, right? So it didn't,
yeah.
it wasn't big enough to get onto the Mount Rushmore.
Mhm.
I had Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 over the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It took the success of the first game and really built on it, which was good. Jurassic World Evolution 2, ladies and gentlemen, come the fuck on. You know what I mean? Come
That's
the
it, well.
fuck on. What a game.
Yeah, yeah.
Alex, you will agree with me on this one. Batman
Go on.
Telltale Season 2.
Come on now.
Yes, way better than the
That's a
original. It
yes.
was the
Yeah,
exact
yeah,
same
easily.
game. It was the
Yeah, yeah,
exact same game, but the story was just so much better, which is what that main thing was. And it actually just performed better overall.
yeah.
So Batman Telltale Season 2 was on my list. Horizon Forbidden West. This was
Oh
close.
yes,
So I was
yes.
thinking like
On the
Zero Dawn
list.
was so amazing. And then I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah,
you know what? I really enjoyed playing Zero Dawn more than Forbidden West, but the combat in Forbidden West was so much
yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah. That's better.
So that was on my list. You put Spider-Man 2 last was Silent Hill 2. So the original Silent Hill
Yep.
2 was obviously better than the original Silent Hill. And then finally, Tekken Tag 2. Tekken Tag Tournament 2, man. Big improvement on the original
Well, yeah. I
game.
mean, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
really a
yeah.
sequel, but you know what I mean. But yeah, for the
Nah, it's
second
Tekken Tag
franchise.
Tournament. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
look,
It is.
so that's why I whacked it in
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
So yeah, that
yeah.
was my
Anymore?
backups. Now that was all of them.
Yeah, yeah. To add to that list, then definitely I'd have it from the Tekken series, the original Tekken, Tekken 2.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
even
way
though
better than the
Street Fighter
first.
was in a bit of contention, Street Fighter 2 would definitely make it from there. Half-Life 2 would definitely be
Ooh,
up
big
there
one.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's quality on quality though, isn't it?
yeah, it is. What was the second Batman one? Batman
Arkham Knight.
Arkham
Oh,
something.
Arkham City.
Arkham City. Yeah, Arkham City. Yes, you know what I mean.
No,
That was great.
mate.
No,
Asylum
no, no,
was
that was
better.
sick. No, no,
Man.
no, no. Asylum, no,
Asylum.
Asylum
I
laid
loved
the
Asylum.
foundation.
I can like I said
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Eric, I understand the decision. I get it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And Super Mario Galaxy 2 was very good. You know what I mean in terms of sequels to the Mario franchise. Um, what else, man? There's loads.
There's loads, dude. But
There's
we're not
loads.
gonna we'll
I
be here
should have put
forever.
up more of a list, but yeah. Anyway, but that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for this week in terms of Mass Rushmore. Anyway, we're going to move on to this week's letter.